use that? Yeah. Thanks. All right, here it is, ready to set up. If I can figure out where to open it. Here it is. Looks pretty good. So I just got this from Guitar Center. It's used. It looks brand new though. I feel like this thing has not really been played. There's a few scratches on the pick guard, but overall looks great. So let's get this thing set up, put some new strings on there. I just played like 5 or 6 guitars at Guitar Center and none of them are set up. They all have like really old strings. They just feel terrible. But this thing looks like it's in good shape. Let's see how it feels. Okay, the strings are pretty high on there. One second. The neck is actually pretty straight. Um, but the strings are a little high. Probably just need to take down the saddle just a little bit, and that should do it. Maybe take the bridge down a little bit too. But we should get some new strings on there before we do that. Play the lick. A minor, never mind. Okay. Let's see. So, alright, this thing feels brand new. It feels like, I mean, it doesn't feel terrible, but the strings are quite high, so that's not good. We need to get that feeling better. Is that the lick, or is that the lick? I bet the second one's a lick if you said A minor. But anyway, alright, so I'm going to take some premium cleaner, some Dr. Duck's Axe Wax for the neck, and then I'm going to put these strings on there. Some Diodario 10s, yeah. And then after that, we'll make sure the neck is still straight. We'll make some adjustments here. Hopefully we don't have to do any fret work, but maybe we'll do some of that. But anyway, here we go. Let's get started. Whoever put these strings on did a really good job. These look great. If you haven't seen my controversial string short, go check that out. People got really upset because I said that they're putting strings on incorrectly. I do think we need to do some scientific testing there, though, to see if the things that we're doing when we're putting strings on are unnecessary. Specifically the luthier's knot. I said we shouldn't use the luthier's knot. The reason why I don't like the luthier's knot is because when I get guitars to fix up and restring, I always have to take out the pliers when I have the luthier's knot on there. And I just, don't like it. And I'm not sure it's really doing anything positive, but I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. But I think there needs to be some scientific testing. I mean, in all my playing, like, the strings stay in tune. Like, I think as long as you have like about 3 or maybe 4 wraps around the post, the tuning stability is usually really good on guitars. Anybody that's new in the chat, I'm giving away a guitar in a couple days. It's a Gibson nylon string from the 60s, early 60s. And I'm giving that away to one of my subscribers. You have to be 18 or older and in the US to be eligible for that. But I also have a video that I made about that one, if you want to check that out too. But I just got this thing today from Guitar Center, used, although it looks like it's brand new. After I fix this up, I'm gonna play it a bunch, make a bunch of videos with it, and then I'll put it for sale. I'm trying to do something where, like, I do have a Patreon thing, and I don't have like YouTube monetization yet, but once I do that, I'm gonna have a YouTube group, and I'm gonna sell these guitars. Like, I'm gonna give my members a very deep discount. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. let's zoom in a little bit. You know, a lot of people like cut these strings like this. I like to save them. I like to save the strings because sometimes I use them again if I'm in a pinch. Like especially if these are in good shape. These strings look pretty good actually. Let's see. All right, maybe I'll cut just the end part off. That way it comes out of here a little easier. Or I could straighten it out. Yeah, doing all 6 strings at the same time. Since this guitar is like basically brand new, these things don't come set up from the factory, so you really need to give it a good setup. So what I'm doing right now is just taking off the strings. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and polished and clean, and then I'm going to put new strings on and do a full setup. So hopefully I don't have to do any fret work, but we'll see. I may have to. So I like to save these strings, so what I end up doing is just, you know, just like when you get the pack of strings, just put them back that same way. It's just like folding a cable, you know, folding like an instrument cable the right way. I'm sure everybody knows the right way to fold an instrument cable. You know, you loop it like this, and then you come under, and then back over. Anyway, when you're really neurotic, you learn how to do this kind of thing. So these are 10s. I like 10s. I usually put 10s on because they're kind of, I don't know, a lot of people like 10s, so for me, I like a thick string, but the cool thing is like every different gauge string kind of has a different sound to it. So I don't tend to like just one or the other. I like to experiment. I like to try different things out. What's everybody in the I am putting new strings on, but not right now. Oh, you meant, oh, I see what you're saying. You thought I was putting all 6 strings through the bridge. No, I don't do it that way. That's pretty funny though. What gauge strings does everybody use in the chat? I'm curious. So since these strings weren't in bad shape, now I've got 6 strings that if I'm in a pinch and I need a string, I can go here. The next thing we need to do is put this cleaner on. I really like this stuff. This is by Virtuoso, and this is their premium cleaner. They also have a premium polish too. Somehow they're still making it. They don't really have like a big website or anything, but if you have like a kind of an old guitar that has like a lot of stuff on it, it's incredible. This stuff will clean it right up. Alright, let's see now. Keep your old socks, make sure you clean them, and then you can cut them up and use them for polishing. I'm trying to film some of this stuff too for a another video that I'm making on this guitar, so I appreciate your patience. Or if it looks like I'm doing something kind of weird, it's because I'm got another camera going here. My dog is trying to play with me right now too. Yeah, I think I got to get some 9s. Maybe next time I do this, which hopefully is very soon, I'll get some 9s. Hello there, public speaking. So I mean, this guitar is not dirty at all, but might as well, while we have everything taken off here, might as well just clean it up. This stuff, you just rub it on, let it dry a little bit, and then you can like really buff it to a polish. Do you like the sound of the 9s? Because I think the 9s will sound very different than the 10s, or they can. I need to do like a comparison. Alright, let's see. Now, I'm going to adjust a little bit so I don't keep rubbing this guitar back and forth on the table and scratch it up. Nice. Yeah, you gotta experiment. Like, don't just keep doing the same thing. I was looking at getting a Strat, but I ended up finding this one instead. The last electric guitar that I had was also like a Les Paul, I mean not, an Epiphone Special, TV Yellow, and I thought it was this one, but it was like a different Epiphone model. and that one had like a satin finish on it, which was really nice. This one's not satin, but it still looks really good. Alright, I usually do the back and sides all at once, but you know, since we're on the live stream, I'll do that later. I can do that after I put the strings on, and I'll just keep things moving along here. But yeah. Let's see. Alright, let's move on to the neck. Hondo, cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this thing sounds. I haven't even plugged it in. I saw it on the Guitar Center website, so I just bought it right away. I had a feeling it was going to be good, and I think it is. I think it's going to be great. But anyway, I'm going to get to play this for a little while, and then somebody's going to get this guitar. Somebody else is going to get this guitar. Alright, this neck, let's see, let me zoom in on the neck here. We're going to oil it up a little bit. I don't know how well it's coming through, but especially up here. Up here it's pretty dry. I guess that's dry. Or it has like it has some like maybe residue in here. So when we put this oil on, it'll clean out that residue. And then coat it with this oil. This is another really interesting thing. I've always used oil on my necks, and I thought that the point of putting oil on your neck was to hydrate the neck, but I'm actually I did some research, and it doesn't look like oil hydrates like most of us think. It looks like what it really does is create a barrier on top of the neck. It kind of seals it in a way. So I need to really find out some more on that. A lot of people gave me some good tips on where to look, but yeah, I definitely need to get a better understanding of how wood works. Alright, so this stuff, let me show you this. This is Dr. Duck's Axe Wax, and it's really good stuff. It doesn't smell like lemons, and I know some guitar companies, I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, use this stuff in their factory. But I give quite a bit of oil. It really rub it in and let it sit. And then you can also just wipe off some of the extra. But yeah, I mean, definitely, whether it hydrates or just coats, I think that having a nice oiled fingerboard feels really good. Of course, after you touch this stuff, your hands are like full of oil. So you got to be careful what you touch after. Yeah, this stuff, I like to rub it in, let it sit. Not only does it feel nice, but it also gives the wood a really nice look. Like this wood is coming alive. You can see this like really nice grain here. Tilt it a little bit. You see these nice streaks in the wood are starting to really come out here. Yeah, got to keep your frets looking good. Linseed oil, is that what you're saying, Daniel? I need to give linseed oil a try. You know, what I'd really like to do, which I don't see enough of in the guitar community, and if anybody knows where to find this information, I'd love to see it, but some like real scientific experiments, like with the kind of things we do, like what kind of oil we put on our guitar, how we put our strings on, how they stay in tune. Yeah, those little kind of accessory things. I know, like this guy, I think his name's Jim Lill or something. Has anybody seen that video where he talks about like where the sound comes from? He has a lot of series talking about that, and I think that stuff is great. He really shows how much like the pickups are really playing a huge role for the guitar. All right, so let's take this and let's wipe off some of the excess oil on here. It's very oily. All right. Now we put the strings on. I usually start with the low E string, which is here. But maybe with this Tune-o-matic system we have going on here. I may put on the low and the high. Doesn't fly off. Get a little tighter here. It's my dog's dinner time. He's singing for his supper right now. Alright, now, this is where the controversy comes in. Putting on strings. I'll explain what I do here, and you can all tell me what you think, how you think I'm wrong, how you do it. Alright, let's get this over here. We'll go a little wider. Alright. So I measure out just a little bit past this first post here, just to make sure I have enough extra. And I pre-cut. The reason why I pre-cut is so when I'm winding the string around, I don't have like a string flying in the air that can poke an eye out or poke me or something. So that's what I do. Some people don't think that's right. The only thing you have to be careful with when you do it this way is you have to make sure, let's get in tight, you have to make sure that you really hold the string firmly. You have to make sure you hold the string firmly in this post. Because if you let it go, it'll slip and kink, and then it'll be harder to put it in the next time. Let me get one other thing here to kind of, let's see, here we go. Alright, so just I hold my finger here and then I turn, and then make sure that this string goes underneath the tiny part sticking out. I understand like why you would want to cut afterwards, because in case you mess up, but you know, the thing is, if you do this enough times, you really never worry about messing up. And if you do mess up somehow, if I do mess up, which I mean, it's definitely possible, I'm not going to say I can do it perfect every time, you still have a decent amount of string left. But, you know, I get it. It's probably to the beginner or to like somebody new at doing this, advising them to pre-cut when they might be, you know, more apt to make a mistake is probably couldn't be not great advice. So I think there's a lot of things you got to try on your own, and don't ever take my word for anything unless you want to. You know, take my word for it and then try it out yourself. But we've got to question things. We don't question things, we just kind of stay in the same place. also prefer to keep a little bit extra string around the post. I think it actually adds a little bit of tension on the tuners, which I think that really helps with the tuning stability. By the way, anybody new here, I'm doing a guitar giveaway in a couple days. It's for a vintage 1960, I think it's a 61 Gibson classical guitar. And you have to be a subscriber and living in the US and 18 or older to enter that. But that's going to be fun. It's a nice guitar. Does anybody in the chat use flat wound strings? It's been a while since I've used some of those, but I want to get some of those soon. So this, when you get to these non-wrapped strings, that's when you really have to hold your grip firmly. It's not easy that this thing that I'm on right now keeps rocking back and forth. There you go. Different picks for different styles. But make sure you keep some tension on the string while you're doing this. I thought different picks for different styles was a metaphor. I like that as a metaphor though, because it applies to guitar players, could apply to all of life. Did you all know this trick too about, like, you should only have to like go two wraps. Two wraps should undo this whole thing. Like if I would have done two wraps on this side, the whole thing would have undone. But if I would have done it on this side, I would have had to unwrap like, I don't know how many times, I haven't counted, but there's one way to unwrap the strings that is easier and quicker than the other way. This is peaceful. It's a lot easier than playing music in front of a bunch of people, which I've been doing every night at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock New York Eastern Time. This is easier. I don't know if it's easier, I guess. It's more relaxing. Hello, Magnus. It's going well here. How are you doing? I also like thicker picks as well. This is the other thing you have to watch out for when you're putting strings on. I might have to redo this one later. That's pretty funny. Missing capo. We're a little flat, but we're gonna get there. Last string, 6th string. Last string. All right. I like to give this last one quite a bit of extra room. Really wrap it a lot. You have the same guitar? Nice. How do you like it? Wow, these tuners feel good. This is like a, how much do these guitars sell for new? Like maybe $500? $450? $400? $500. I think more than $400. They're selling used for $400. This is what $500 gets you today. These are really nice tuners. All right. So we have got this thing all strung up. Let's get this on camera here. Looking pretty nice. fingerboard is nice and dark. And of course I've kind of marked it up a little bit. So I'll go back and do this. But the next step is to get it up to tune, see how it feels, make any necessary adjustments here and on the truss rod, which I'm assuming I'll have to do. Let's see. Let me kind of move this camera back a little bit. We'll move it up. Alright. So, bite the string. Yeah, I think I played some Squires today that were good. Yeah, the action is definitely high on this thing. But what I like to do is get the truss rod adjusted first, and then I'll adjust the action second. But I think before I did anything, the neck was pretty straight, so. So this part I like to just slowly get the guitar up to tune. Let me get a reference pitch here. Alright, we're not too far off. I think that's a little flat, but alright, yeah. Alright. It'll take a little while to kind of I find that if you put the strings on with enough wraps around the top, it really doesn't take that long for them to settle in. This isn't a tune-o-matic bridge. I can adjust this bridge. That's great. I'm very excited. Yeah, this is great. Okay. This this bridge, being able to adjust the intonation, that's huge. That is huge. I went to college for many years to play guitar, to learn how to tune a guitar that fast. Alright, wow. You know, the action's a little high, but it's actually really, it's pretty easy to play already. Thank you for that. Alright, I think like the next step here is really to like play it a bunch and let it settle in. But let's look at the neck real quick. Just see what it looks like. I mean, this is very straight. It actually might have a slight up bow to it. Yeah. But I think I can lower this saddle just a little bit here, and it's gonna feel really good. Yeah, the TV yellow is awesome. I'm a big fan. You know, not surprisingly, it looks really good in a video. I know it was meant for black and white, but I guess it's just really has a good contrast with a lot of other things that you typically wear or see on stage, so that must be part of the reason why it looks so good in a black and white setting. Has some nice resonance here. I'm liking what I feel so far. Nothing else matters. So I want to tell you all a little story. I went to Guitar Center today to pick this up, and I had to play some guitars while I was there. And it's so loud in there. It's just like complete chaos when you walk in because everybody's trying to play over each other. And I decided to do a live stream like this while I was in there, and I don't know a lot of these like rock licks that everybody plays, so I'm just like kind of noodling around like this. But I don't think anybody wants to hear that. They all want to hear like a rock solo. So I have homework to do. I have to go learn like 10 or 20 rock solos or famous riffs, so the next time I go to Guitar Center, it looks like I have these really good chops. I don't know Billy Talent songs. Is Billy Talent a good guitar player? Yeah, I like noodling too, and I really like kind of like jamming with other people, but nobody wants to jam at Guitar Center. They just want to play whatever they're playing. And I was thinking like a funny idea, if everybody in Guitar Center just like joined in a collective jam, it would freak everybody out. But this is what I'm gonna do with this guitar. Yeah, if they were singing too, that would be hilarious. So if I just kind of, I'm gonna play this one a lot, and I'll make little tiny adjustments along the way. And I think that's the way to like really set up a guitar. You go nice and slow. Nice and slow, play it, make little adjustments. But I love this process of just, you know, setting up a guitar and like living with it for a little while and then giving it to somebody else. Like you kind of put it in its best light, put it in like on its best foot. I don't know how to say that. What do you say? You like make it as good as you possibly can and then give it to somebody else. And they've got a great guitar. So I really enjoy that process. This is the second guitar with P90s because I had another one of these. It wasn't this one. It was like a lower model Epiphone. What do you call this? And now I already forgot what this thing's called. This is a... Is this a studio? What do you call this? Hold on, I have it right here. Why can't I think of the name? Special. Sorry. Thanks everybody in the comments. I had another one of these Epiphone specials, and it had a satin finish, and it also had P90s. But most of those Epiphone specials, like one or two, I don't know how much those are. They're like in the $200 to $300 range. Most of those didn't have P90s that I saw, but this one did. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you like jamming with somebody in their 40s. Yeah, jamming can be very scary. For me, when I first started out, it was scary too, because you don't know what to do a lot of times. But if you just keep at it, eventually, as you get older, you kind of, and more experience, you know what to do, and you can always just not play. That's always an option. Let them do some work, and then when you hear something you want to play, then you play it. Thank you, Ned. Jazzmaster. Yeah, I guess Jazzmaster pickups might be different than P90s. They look pretty similar to me. Look like the same thing. Bar chords. Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah, I can tell you about bar chords. So, you have this major shape here, and then you pick up your finger and you have the minor shape here, and then here you have this shape is the major shape when you start on the 5th string, and then this is the minor shape here. You also have these minor 7, dominant 7, and then this is dominant 7 starting on the 6th string. So, all right. So anyway, I think we're pretty much done for now. I want to play this a little bit since the truss rod's pretty straight. I'm gonna let the tension kind of become solid here, and then after I feel pretty good about it, maybe in like another 10 or 15 minutes of playing, I'll adjust the truss rod if I need to, and then I'll move that down, this saddle, if I need to. But I'll be playing this again tonight, probably 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can check out that live stream. I'll play for a little bit. I'll definitely be using this guitar tonight. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'll get another guitar soon, so make sure you're subscribed and you can win that Gibson Classical early 60s, I think 61. That'll be raffled away in 2 days. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all soon. I'll be doing this a lot more. I enjoyed it. Have a good Friday, everybody. Bye.